All year long, everyone's looked at 157 as being Jason Knowles' weight class, where he's on a tier on his own and no one's really all that close. When you look at the seeding here, the number 2 seed being Tyler Berger, who was just majored by Nolf in the Big Ten finals. I think it's pretty safe to say that's the case. So while Nolf next topic is kind of an easy way to answer how you think this bracket's going to go, I still think it's worth actually going through the brackets match by match to see how things shake out, and especially for the team race, a lot of these results, even if Nolf ends up winning the entire bracket, they could still have a big result or still have a big effect on who finishes where in the team score. So we'll start off with Nolf versus the winner of a pigtail. Nolf's going to win that match. Then we have LaPrade versus John Van Brill. I'm picking Van Brill to win that match. Rutgers. We have Pagdalau versus McClure. I'm picking Pagdalau. And then Ruffin versus Humphreys. I will take Humphreys of Lehigh. So then we'll have Nolf versus Van Brill. These two have gone against each other a couple of times. Van Brill was actually the guy who Nolf was going up against last year when he injured his knee, so technically Van Brill got the win in that match by injury default. But the one match they had before that, Jason Nolf won by a score 22-4. So unless Jason Nolf injures his knee here, which I highly doubt is going to happen, I picked Jason Nolf to win this match. And then between Pagdalau and Humphreys, these guys have gone against each other before. Humphreys was able to get the win 6-1 in the previous matchup, so I'll pick him to win this match as well. And so we will have Nolf versus Humphreys. These guys have gone against each other. Happened earlier this year, and Jason Nolf got the win by pin. So I will pick Jason Nolf to win this match as well. Putting Jason Nolf in the semifinals, no real shock there in that quarter. On to the next quarter. So we have Hayden Hidley versus Willits of Oregon State. I'll pick Hayden Hidley to win that match. We have Thomas versus Rahmani. I'll pick Talib Rahmani there. Jock versus Wayland. I'll actually pick the upset here and pick Wayland. And then Smith versus Pantaleo. I'll pick Pantaleo. And unfortunately for Pantaleo, there's an argument to be made that he's the number 2 guy right now. He did get the win over Deacon, who's seated ahead of him. Berger definitely has a strong case for number 2 as well, but Pantaleo definitely wrestles Nolf the closest, but really tough matchups for him here. But then in the next round, we would have Hidley versus Rahmani. These guys have gone against each other 5 different times because they're both in the same conference. And in all 5 situations, Hayden Hidley has gotten the win. I expect him to be 6-0 after this matchup. So tough draw for Rahmani. And then between Weiland and Pantaleo, these guys have not gone against each other, but I will pick Alec Pantaleo to get the win here. And so that puts a quarterfinal match between Hidley and Pantaleo. Again, really tough draw for Hidley, or for Pantaleo to have to pull Hidley here in the quarters. These guys have gone against each other in the past. This was last year in NCAAs, and Hidley got the win by a score of 10-2, so he actually majored him. So I will pick Hidley to get the win here, even though Hidley hasn't looked quite as sharp this year as he did last year. If his last match was a 10-2 win over Pantaleo, I think it's hard to pick Pantaleo to make up that ground and then some. So that would mean Hidley and Nolf, last year's NCAA final, will be a semifinal in the top half of the draw. All right, moving along to the next quarter, we have Deacon and Labrie. I will pick Deacon to win that match. And then Griffin Perriott versus Hartman. I'll take Griffin Perriott to pull a minor upset here from a seeding standpoint. Keyshawn Hayes versus Carson. Hayes has not looked all that great of late. Didn't have a great Big Ten tournament, but I think he will be able to hold on here and get the win. And then Caleb Young versus Reed. I will pick Caleb Young of Iowa. So then we'll have Deacon versus Perriott in the round of 16. I will take Ryan Deacon here. These guys have gone against each other before. Deacon got the win 8-2 earlier this year. So I'll pick Deacon to win again, even though he hasn't looked quite as sharp of late, especially in that Big Ten tournament. And between Keyshawn Hayes and Caleb Young, these guys just went at it. And Caleb Young won by a score of 11-1 in the Big Ten tournament. So I will pick Caleb Young to win here as well. So that puts Deacon versus Young. At the Northwestern duel this year, at the duel in Evanston, Iowa actually did not wrestle Caleb Young. They wrestled Jaron Glosser, and Glosser lost a close match. But as I mentioned before, Deacon really didn't look all that good at Big Tens. Had a bad loss to Pantaleo, lost to Blease. And I mean, Blease is a good guy. He can hang with some of the top guys, but you still wouldn't expect Deacon to lose to him. So for whatever reason, I don't know if Deacon just was off that day or maybe he's dealing with some kind of injury. I just don't think he's at his best right now. And for that reason, I'm actually going to pick Caleb Young to pull an upset here and move on into the semis. And that would put him as the winner of the third quarter. And for the fourth quarter, we'll start here with Early and Monday. And I will pick Early to win that match. Then we have Chase Straw versus Steve Blease. As I mentioned before, Blease had that big win over Deacon at Big Tens. It's been kind of unusual with him because he's got their shoulder harness on all year, and it looks like he's definitely fighting through some injuries, but he's had some really good matches in the process. So I'll actually pick him to get the win here as well. Then between Barone and Parks, I'll take Barone of Illinois, and then Berger over Barton of Campbell. So then we'll have Early versus Blease. These guys have not gone against each other in the past, but I will pick Blease to get the win here over the 7th seed Early. And then Barone and Berger. These guys do have a history. Berger's won both times, one by pin and one by a score of 5-1. So I will pick Berger to win that match as well, leaving Berger and Blease in the quarterfinals. These guys have gone against each other twice. Berger's won both times. So at Big Tens, Berger won by a score of 6-3. And then earlier this season in the duel, it was a sudden victory win by a score of 3-1 back in February. So I'll pick Berger to get the win here. Blease has had trouble scoring takedowns on him, so if you can't take another guy down, it's pretty tough to win a wrestling match against him, and I will pick Tyler Berger there. So that means in the semifinals, we have Jason Nolf versus Hayden Hidley and Caleb Young versus Tyler Berger. Nolf and Hidley have gone against each other once before. It was in the NCAA finals last year. Worth noting that Nolf was rushing back from an injury at that point, the injury that he sustained against Van Brill. Wasn't at his best, but still being as good as he was still able to manage to get the win. And in that finals match against Hidley, he won by a score of 6-2. I think he's going to beat Hidley again, but this time at least major him, putting Jason Nolf in the finals. Then between Caleb Young and Tyler Berger, these guys have gone against each other just once. It was at the duel Iowa versus Nebraska this year, and Berger won in sudden victory by a score of 3-1. So again, Young was unable to get a takedown there. But I'm actually going to pick the upset here, even though Young did lose that match and wasn't able to get the takedown in the 3-1 loss. I just feel like Caleb Young, coming off a win over Deacon in my prediction, is going to be feeling pretty good about himself. Berger, this is his senior year, last chance. Might be a little bit tight in here, and I think Young's actually going to be able to pull off an upset here in a one takedown match. So I'll pick Caleb Young to go to the finals against Jason Nolf. The two of them have not gone against each other this year. Had Young gotten further in the Big Ten tournament, I suppose there would have been an opportunity for that, but that's not how it worked out. But I will pick Jason Nolf to get the win over Caleb Young, get some bonus points in the process, and repeat as a national champion one more time.